What's up, everybody? It's your boy, the Italian Stallion, ready for another episode of Rebels with a Cause, episode 42. And listen, the Italian Stallion right now, he has been running ragged. Hopefully, the show will amp him up like it does every week. Hopefully, I get to hear from you, beautiful people, this week. Got a lot to talk about and so forth. First off, got to give a shout out more than anything to our guest last week, Nathan Cottrell. We had over 60 something views last week, both live and after the show. So, keep hitting that like and subscribe button. Really enjoyed conversing with him. And we've got some guests coming up that even my co-hosts don't even know about, that I've been organizing behind the scenes. Looks like the cause message is being received, loved, and forwarded. So remember, baby, that cause don't stop when the clock hits zero. So, hopefully we can just keep it going and throw them W's up and so forth. Speaking of which, the boys got a win over Central. Big win, 56-14. We're going to talk about that. But I want to just do our thing like we normally do every week. As always, the views and opinions of this program are not affiliated with those of any other organization or of West High School. This is solely the RWAC Crew's views and opinions. Myself, the Italian Stallion, the coach, stats man himself, Shane O'Mac, and the one, the only, two-pair Tate, Brian Tate. That's our views, baby. So love them, hate them, respect them. That's all you got to remember about that. And also want to give some love real quick to our fellow West High grad, a 2003 grad to be exact, Mr. Alex Thatcher and his Knoxville Coffee Company there in the heart of Marble City off Sutherland Avenue. Go pay him a visit, get you some good brew. Good any time of the day. Could use some right now, to be honest with you. And also my gals at the chamber, Miss Kim Castle, Miss Rachel Davis. Go pay them a visit there off of Washington Pike on the 27th coming up. They're going to have manicures and pedicures available to go with all the other great services that they offer there at the chamber. They really do make you feel like a king with that royal treatment. So go pay those ladies a visit. They'll take care of you. Get 2 alcoholic beverages. And if you don't drink, have you about a couple bottles of water. Just enjoy it. They have some nice music and TV on. Always a good time there. It is our guy me time. Just remember that. So, but without further ado, I want to bring on my co-hosts. At first, well, he's needing a moment real quick before we get ready. But I want to also give real quick shouts out everywhere to whoever's watching the show. Whether you're down in Atlanta, Mr. Nathan Cottrell, Mr. Larry Frank Jr. down in Louisiana, George Diaz. Shout out to my guy George Diaz and Cuban Kane down in Miami. We got friends from all over. Even Shane knows somebody from Ohio that likes to watch the show. So I'm just saying they're all over watching us. But I think he's ready now. I think he's getting ready to come on and so forth. So he just gave me the thumbs up. So I want to give him the proper introduction, and you all should show him the love, because let me tell you this, he got some great highlights on Friday night over that big win over Central Bobcats region win. And hopefully I can get these posted in the next couple of days so you can see them. Some great highlights, and hopefully we can make some more the rest of the season. But let me give him on. He is the Mr. 2003 West, and he will never, ever live that down, because I will remind everyone he was Mr. 2003 West. He is going on 19 years as the voice of the running Rebels and the Lady Rebels basketball team, coming to a court near you to terrorize you, with Coach E and Coach Graves now running the show there for both teams respectively. And I want to give him a little shout. He will be the voice of the Pellissippi basketball team first year. What an honor. They reached out. He's going to be the voice doing that, and that's exactly what he needs to be doing. His talents on the mic, showing that love, getting crowds hype. He gets you hype every week. He's my favorite Florida State Seminole and brother, the one, the only, two-pair Tate, Brian Tate. What is up, baby?
Hey man, how you doing? How you doing?
Oh,
dude, dude.
I'm tired, but I got the energy seeing you
Yeah,
guys, my boys. I'm ready. Got that hurricane brewing down there. I hope it doesn't mess
I
up our
know,
game
man.
Friday night. Can't ruin homecoming. We got the pretty girls and the convertibles on the track. I mean,
You know it.
we
You
can't ruin.
know it.
This is going to be a nice time. Heritage coming. The Mountaineers. We're going to show them some hospitality on Friday night there on Sutherland Avenue in Marble City, 3300. So, what's your
I
thoughts,
definitely
brother?
can't wait.
So,
Uh,
talk.
uh, to see how they played Friday was a revelation. Like, um, I got to talk to Parker after the game, and I told him, I was like, man, you made just like 5 bad throws all night. And
Mhm.
when you look at the tape, I think if he keeps limiting it down to 3 to 5 bad throws a game and limiting the turnovers, the team puts them in position to make plays by the field position. I think our special teams went up a notch. Riley Manning, how phenomenal has Riley Manning been for this team? Like, he has made the conscious effort in plays, and Jack Keith. I mean, what more can you say about how phenomenal he has been?
Do you
Detroit
think the
Patterson make
basketball
plays.
team needs another player? When he sky high'd and blocked that punt, baby, I was like, yo, I mean,
Yo,
that gets this
yo.
right here when he did that. It was like, I'm
I
taking that.
mean,
Woo!
we make and I like I will say just like Messiah Ren said, it's another day at the office.
I loved it.
I
Yeah.
loved it when he said that. It felt like he believed it. And the one thing I want to say like about Park Duvon is when he's methodical and he's making plays with his legs and he's able to you know look 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 at what he's what I'm saying, look at his progression and make those check downs, because a lot of times when I watched the Maryville tape, I just felt like we got out physical against Maryville.
Absolutely.
We really
Absolutely.
got out physical. This game, you can see Tavion Ray imposing his will, Keelan Rucker imposing his will.
Yep.
And can we get the ball to Jack Hankins? Can we get the ball to other playmakers? Don't get me
Mm,
wrong. Um, Antoine Burdine put on, Detroit Patterson put on, but Hankins and Harrison,
mhm.
get can we get the ball to other? There's so many guys
There's
on
so
this
many
team.
guys, and we talked about that. We've laughed about that joke, that plethora. I mean, you do. I mean, and here's the thing:
Plethora.
Andrada has not played in 2 weeks. I mean, and he's
Drada hasn't played.
the
Mills was hurt.
returner. Mills has been a little banged up. I mean, Person made a hell of a third down where he
Yes,
set
he
you up for
did.
fourth and short, and then we score on the next play. He fought, and I mean, he looked
Corey,
great. Corey
there
Person, baby.
there
So
are
yeah.
times there are times when Corey Person is open and he doesn't get disgruntled when he comes back to the line of scrimmage.
Hmm.
And that shows maturity by Corey Person made plays.
Hmm.
Corey Person made plays. Um,
Davis too.
Burdine
Davis made some plays too,
Davis made
blocking,
plays.
catching. Yep. So
Was
yep.
was was JPP hurt?
Yes, yes, yeah.
Okay,
JP's a little banged up. We didn't even have I'm sorry, McAllister out there. I mean,
McAllister wasn't in
you
there.
didn't have a running back and your free safety back there, and Central exposed it. It showed. I mean,
Oh
like
man,
they
yeah, I
had
did.
I mean, they had a receiver have 136 yards in the first quarter. After that, we made the adjustments that were necessary, but I can't
Hmm.
remember a player for a team having 136 yards on our defense, and it was because of the fact you didn't have McAllister out there,
And then
and
also, I felt like we were giving up too much cushion.
yeah.
I don't like to see if we're in man. I feel like we've got the athletes, if we're in man, to press
Hmm.
press
Yeah.
coverage. I felt like we didn't do enough of that.
I wonder if that was only by design because of the fact that you had a JP piece and, McAllister out. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah,
I said,
yeah.
who am I to really second guess the coaches? That defense
Right. We're
has
not
been
second
whatever.
guessing. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
we're just
exactly.
being
So
armchair quarterbacks at this point.
exactly,
Just you know,
exactly. Yeah, and
like
I like I said, you're right though. You're right. Like I mean, we should have bumped up there because how many more balls could have been intercepted? That defense was just
the def
famished and thriving in that
the
third quarter.
defense played like a state championship team.
They did. They did.
The offense the offense was in position to score because of the defense and the special teams.
Correct.
I
Correct.
felt like the field position was in our favor, and that's where I think what Dubon didn't play in the fourth quarter.
I mean, no, he didn't because truth
Yeah.
be told, the offense really didn't have the ball in in the second half because the defense and special teams was either scoring or giving you short fields. And
Mm-hmm.
on top of that, in the second quarter, Central had that long drive that was aided by
That was
ridiculous penalties. That has to be cleaned up. I'm sorry.
yeah. We
If
we
the
got to clean up the
turnovers were an
penalties. Yeah.
issue, but here's the thing. I am not one to scoff at officials, but two
No,
pair, we've talked about this with basketball season. I'm going to just say this. Football has been miserable at this high school level, and I'm going to tell you why. The
about the
spots the
officiating.
balls have been off. Yeah, the
Yeah.
spots where the ball has been placed has been off. Holding calls where it may have been ticky tack, like was the arm really extended?
Mm-hmm.
Just things. And it's like there's no flow to these games, and you're
Yeah.
there to just that everybody's playing by the rules.
Mm-hmm.
They're just calling a lot of things that I'm just
Ticky
like,
tacky
really
stuff.
ticky
Yeah.
tacky stuff. And the thing is it's like what Jimmy Johnson said back in the day. You never want to leave it in the hands of the officials, and so you got to
Mm-hmm.
take care of business. And not turn the ball over, not create stupid penalties that extend the drive when you've worked your ass off to get them off of a three
Mm-hmm.
and out. And the fact is, you roughed a punter that really wasn't necessarily needed, and you took back
Wasn't needed.
a punt return from Antoine. I mean, that would have been another punt return for a
Another punt
touchdown
return.
for Burdine. So, I'm just
Mm-hmm.
saying that, like, let's be a little bit more smart. Now, the good news is you got out of the good news is it's still midway through the season. But we
Very
can't have
midway.
that in the first week of the playoffs. You can't have that
No.
in the second week of the playoffs. And
Mm-mm.
the other thing is you did that against a 5A opponent, somebody that you could see in the
Again.
second round. Because let me tell you this, I've been harping on this. Coach Lane has really done a great job with Central.
Absolutely. He's
100%
doing a great job.
improvement from last year, using a lot of young guys. And
Yeah.
their time is going to be there, but they understand that we are right now. And there's a poster on Coach T that says, I don't care what West's record is until somebody in 5A proves they can beat them. They are the standard of 5A. And I appreciate hearing that from us. And he's not even a West fan. He's a fan from a team from the Tri-Cities that says
Tri
that.
Cities. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
know
The
that
Tri
when they
Cities.
come from the Tri-Cities, they have to come to us and play us. So that can be disheartening that their season ends when they come to 3300 Sutherland Avenue. Simple as that. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I want to bring on our other co-host because he's been waiting patiently. The coach himself, our stats man. I believe he's still single. So, ladies, if you want to hit him up, let me know. Message the show, and we'll set you guys up because not only is he Father of the Year, but he can cook and he does it all, man. He's the one, the only, our guy, the coach.
The
Shane
coach.
O'Mac, Shane McGee. What is up, baby?
What's up, folks? What's up? How y'all doing tonight?
What up,
Doing
Shane?
good,
My
man.
man.
Sorry I missed the
God.
game Friday, but came into some tickets for that concert and had to be there for a once in a lifetime opportunity because that concert was amazing. If you don't know what concert I'm talking about, it was Morgan Wallen, Hardy, and Ernest. Concert was amazing. Nealon was rocking. I was up in the nosebleed.
Dude,
Stadium was
what an
literally
experience.
yeah, it was amazing.
Can I say this? I was actually surprised we had as many fans on Friday to honor the OG 2014 group two pair as we did because a certain coach's wife was even at the Morgan Wallen concert as opposed to going to the game. So I'm not going to say who it was, but their Facebook picture showed who it was. And I was like, you weren't there to support your husband?
Your husband. That's tough. That's tough. It's tough.
I feel bad for my son now because that was his first concert.
That's a good one to start
How
with.
do you top that?
You don't.
Yeah, that's tough to top.
Like, I'm going to a concert again. I'm going to another concert in Nashville on Friday. It's not going to top it. I might be in my feels all Friday night because there's a bunch of sad country songs about drinking and situationships. But
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this, guys. I've got the score up there, 56-14. The score at halftime, though. Let me just put it to you like this, guys. If you weren't there at the game, West and Central were battling it back and forth. It was 14-14. West had returned a punt for a touchdown. You think that, okay, now West is going to roll. Instead, we rough the kicker, extend it, even have a couple of other penalties that extend the drive. And literally, Central has the ball all the way down at our 1 yard line with 4 seconds to go and is about to kick a field goal to take the lead at halftime, 17-14 over West, and have all the momentum. And what happens? Wyatt DeRoche, our guy, blocks the field goal kick, and it bounces into Abel Ancelot's arms for a 97-yard touchdown return with no time left. To the crib. And there was nobody near him. There was nobody near him. And I was so proud because I've been one of Abel's biggest fans since spring.
You have been a big Abel Ancelot fan.
And he laid a hit in the second half that guy still feels it or what have you. It was perfect how he knocked the guy in the fourth quarter. But Abel, that's another guy that needs to get touches and really impact the ball on both sides and even special teams. But he takes it back. Rogers boots it through like he's going to. And it's going from 17-14 Central to 21-14 West, and West is going in the locker room. Then the OGs get honored at halftime with one of the most beautiful videos. Russell Bivens, shout out to him, and him doing the voiceover with the highlights, even though he really wasn't calling those games. But the editing made it seem like he was really calling those games. And they honored the guys that came out. We have interviews that I've posted on Facebook. I hope to get them up. I've just been busy with work. Coach Gahn gives them a great introduction with a script.
Oh, that was amazing. That was amazing.
And to see our guy Cottrell. Yeah, and the guys hoist the trophy right there in the middle of the field.
How about Noah
Hoxie was there. Seth Marshall was there. I interviewed both of them. Coach Giles was off from Farragut, so he was there. Nat Scott, another coach on the staff, was there. Cole Scavara was there. He's a fan of the show and so forth. He actually thanked me.
Shout out to the Scavara family.
Yeah, shout out to the Scavara family. But Cole's a fan of the show and actually personally thanked me for all that we do. Honestly, for just getting that podcast. And I said, but we do it with all love, but honestly, we wouldn't even have arrived here if you guys hadn't laid the foundation. And I say all that the 2014 guys being honored, I don't know if it was their presence, and I'm not trying to be funny here, but it rubbed off. And then we came out looking like the 2014 guys, scoring on defense, scoring on offense, scoring on special
teams. It was crazy to see. It was like it just became an avalanche in that third quarter.
Yep.
The third quarter, it was a snowball effect.
28 points scored in that quarter. Offense, defense, and special teams.
I mean, there was a point it was 49-14.
Yep.
Then it just when you saw it get 49-14, you just start saying to yourself, like, dude, we might score 50 points. And this is their biggest offensive output. It is.
This is, we've gotten to 38 a couple times, but realistically, this was the game where the offense and the defense and the special teams all complemented each other. And
they did.
These slow starts have got to stop. That is the one thing that I'm going to challenge the team, is that you need to come out rain or shine on Friday night and jump on Heritage and don't leave it to doubt. Because here's the thing, those boys play. I mean, ask William Blunt. William Blunt thought that they were going to roll over them and so forth, and Heritage was the one that embarrassed William Blunt
I
on
couldn't believe
Thursday.
Heritage. I
Yes,
couldn't believe Heritage beat them.
yes, and
I
they
could
played
not
Powell tough.
believe it.
Don't look at the score against Powell. They played Powell tough.
They
So
play tough. They play tough.
they'd love to
Let-
ruin homecoming. Would love to.
yeah, they definitely would love to ruin homecoming. But the thing that I noticed is we do get a habit of these slow starts. It's just we get a habit of slow starts. We play from behind, then we got to catch up. Like we've done that since the start of the season, and we're midway through the season right now. Um, it's stuff you got to clean up.
Yeah,
You got to clean that stuff up. Yeah, it's a big win, 56-14, but how many penalties did we receive?
Too many.
Right.
And they were big penalties. They were big 15-yarders. I mean, big penalties. So yeah,
You're putting yourself in a hole when you garner these penalties and you allow your defense. And we've got guys that we can rotate, but still you're putting a lot of pressure on your defense to make stops. And we couldn't get off the field on third down a lot.
I mean, that was an 8-minute drive. That was an 8-minute damn drive. I mean, that shouldn't happen. So
not in high school football, no.
No, not at all. So, Coach, just your thoughts on it, because I know you weren't there, but at the same time, what is it at this point? I mean, because look, Two Pair said it best. You're already 5 games into it. The record doesn't look that great. You're 3-2. The one thing that is important is you're 1-0 in region play, so that's important. You're ranked number 8 in the state, and here's the other thing too. Last week or last Friday night, Southwind, who was the number 2 team in the state, got upset. So
what?
Yeah, Southwind, I forget. I think it was a team from Mississippi they were playing, but they lost, and so they were number 2 in the state. And a lot of people were thinking Southwind is going to be an obstacle for Page on that other side of the state. I say that right now, Page looks like the dominant team. They won again 49-0 or 42-0 last week over Coffee County. I don't know how good Coffee County is, but here's the thing. They're taking care of business and look every bit of the part of a team out that they're tired of getting silver balls and they want a gold ball. And they got 3 D1 commits on that team, making sure that it happens this year. So I pay attention to the other teams.
Yeah.
Sevier County is looking great right now with their quarterback. That could be a potential second-round matchup or a third-round matchup. And then you've got Powell, who's in your region, who's ranked number 4 in the state right now. So with their only loss being to a very good Anderson County team. So you're going to be able to play some of these teams, and you need to get ready. So, Coach, what I'm asking is, what do you do to ensure you don't have this slow start, especially against the competition that could be in your way of this historical time?
At this point, it's a mental thing on why they're doing it. Like, obviously, they make the adjustment at halftime, but you got to make the adjustments early. And you've got to exploit every weakness you can. If you're going to start slow, those teams like that are going to exploit it quick. And then it turns into, can you battle back enough, or can you rely on the defense enough to even stay in the game? But when you got teams that are doing that, you can't start slow. It's. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's hard to battle back when teams are that good and that stacked. Like you look at those teams, like a team, what Paige said has 3 D1 commits right now.
3 D1 commits, yes, sir.
You slide off against a team like that, they will exploit you real quick, and then you might not have enough left in the tank. Yeah. They need to kind of go back to the way it was in 2014, where you're blowing teams out in the first half, and then make your adjustments and just kind of play keep away. But you can't get down, and you got to convert the down distance. You got to keep everything short. Pick up 2-3 yards every carry, every pass, moving, and keep your offense moving and burn out their defense to where they're gassed even after halftime. If not, then it's going to be a long, long battle, and you may not make it to a third straight.
It's true. It's true. Two Pair, let me ask you this real quick, because I think that this is something to go off of what Shane is saying. Is there a good possibility that maybe this is that aha game? I mentioned it to the 2014 group that they had won, but it was the William Blunt game where they scored 63 points in a half that really got them going to win the title. Yes, they had the Ray County and everything like that, but is there a good possibility this game could be that aha game for this team, that maybe there are no more slow starts and they whip some ass these next 10? Because here's what it's going to take. You win these next 10, you're state champs for the third straight year. Go on the roll. Roll with it. I don't care who's in your way. Roll with it.
I feel what you say right there. I do. I feel what you say. But for me, what the game that would kind of cement that, how do they play on the road against Alcoa?
2 weeks away. Yes,
2
sir.
weeks away. It's 2 weeks away. I said the two games that were going to be telling for me were Central and Maryville.
Yeah.
I said I thought those two games would be the toughest on the schedule, and I like that Anderson County team.
They're better than I thought. They're and you know what that proves? When you get a quarterback, that's what like I'm just saying that, not that their guy last year wasn't good, but this guy from Campbell County that transferred in there, he's made them a whole lot better. I mean, honestly, he really.
And speaking of quarterbacks, how good is Warren Axton from Gibbs?
Another big win on Friday night. I predicted they would.
He's good as advertised.
Yes.
Warren Axton, I think he is probably the guy that changes everything for Gibbs. He's came into that position, that role as a quarterback, and he's been ever since we saw that spring game.
Yes.
I kept saying that dude at quarterback for Gibbs, he will be a difference maker when the season starts. And Warren Axton he's played phenomenal this year.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And they've got to play Anderson County later in the year. That's going to decide that region championship. So that's going to be a hell of a game.
With that guy at quarterback, if he cuts down the turnovers, I wouldn't be surprised if those dudes shocked Anderson. It's just the way he played. Like I was telling Shane, I was telling you too. I said, I was like, Shane and James, man, this dude, if he's at quarterback for them this season, they've got a shot to win every single game. He's a player that makes a difference, man. He's a true playmaker. For him to come to a school from, I want to say either they were in Alabama or Georgia when they made their move. Mm-hmm. And he's just taken the Gibbs community by storm. That dude has made plays. Like last week, who did they play? Was it?
I think it was South Doyle they beat really good.
South Doyle. Yeah, South Doyle's young.
Yeah.
South Doyle is very, very young.
But it was all done in the first half, and it was a running clock. I mean, it was done
in the first half.
Yeah.
But I'll say this about South Doyle. You give South Doyle 3 years, that program is going to be different.
Yeah, Hedrick. Yeah, and they need to give like I want you to think about this. Look at Austin East right now, and I know that the people aren't happy with Stanton and everything like that. Look at their schedule. They just got beat by Alcoa. A lot of people get beat by Alcoa and so forth, and give him a chance to get some guys back in that program. The same goes for the guy at Fulton. The same goes for Hedrick at South Doyle, Kevin Lane at Central. You can't. I love the
way Justin. I love the way Coach Long is coaching Fulton.
They're playing tough. They're playing tough.
I think Fulton and Austin East. You got to give that you got to give that 3 to 4 years for them to become a team, to be a program.
Yeah.
Like with West, we have a program.
Yeah.
But the thing, one of the fans told me last Friday night was, the guys on this team are walking around as their state champions, which is understandable.
Mm-hmm.
Like we got a few playmakers from that championship team on this team.
Yes.
But when you look at it, it was the seniors before this group that took it upon themselves to keep this thing rolling. And
Yes.
now, like Messiah Wren, he said it best. He was like, look, we got to treat this like another day at the office.
Mm-hmm.
And it's on us as seniors. When a guy takes ownership like that, when you get a Wyatt DeRoche taking ownership, you get a Riley Manning. I've said it. Riley Manning was the difference maker in that game.
Mm-hmm. Jack
Like there
Keith
was
too. I mean,
Jack
my
Keith
God,
as
Jack
well.
Keith.
Jack
Jack
Keith
Keith
as well.
has the most interceptions in the KIL right now, and so forth, more so than DBs, and he's housed too.
He's house too.
Honestly, so
Could have house 3 against Bearden if
could
somebody
have.
got out of his way.
Yeah, I mean,
And
he
he
could have won
really
that.
he really
If
could
he
have
had
they could have
won
ended the
that
game.
game like that, oh my God, Jack Keith, already a legend, but he would have been even
Yeah.
more legendary.
Oh man.
So
And
shoot.
and then you gotta think he's the backup point guard to a team that's gonna compete for state.
Oh yeah, yeah, and we're going to talk
So
about them here in a second.
mhm.
Shane, I do want to wrapping up the Central game. I do want to just say this. So now West is 1-0. They've got now another region opponent coming in, Heritage. And what is it going to take to continue getting better and play that complete football game? Because even though Central, the score shows it wasn't a complete football game. You still had turnovers. You had the penalties. What is it going to take to get to that upper level? Because here's the other thing. You got Halls and Powell just mere weeks away. And those two teams play this week in the Battle of Emory Road. So
I say, you saw what you're capable of in the second half. You get that block ball, your house, take it to the house, you go into halftime, you come back out, you punch them in the mouth. You gotta come out ready to go. First snap of the game, really first kickoff of the game, where you're receiving, where you're deferred, and you're going down there. You go punch somebody in the fucking freaking mouth right then and there and blow their ass up. You say that we're here to play. We come out, we're ready, we know what we're capable of. You give it to them for the whole time they're out there for the 48 minutes of football, and you don't let up. You put your foot on their throat and you make them tap. You know what you're capable of. You won 56-14 on Friday. Yeah, 2014 original state OG state champs there. You know what you're capable of now. Hey, you have to embrace those losses and how much they suck and how bad it felt. Now you know that you're capable of putting up 50-plus points again. Now you go out there and you do it again, and you challenge anybody who steps on that field. Once you step between those lines, and you give them everything you have for 48 minutes. You don't let up. You control the mental mistakes that you keep making. You stop playing soft and slow when you come out, and you go play West football for 48 minutes until that clock strikes 0, and there's nothing left in the tank, and that other team is huffing and puffing, and you're still standing victorious. That's just what you have to do it. You want to win. You want to win a third one. You run through the rest of this region. You take what's yours, and prove why you are back-to-back state champs and why you deserve a third one. If you can't go out there and prove that this week and next week and the following weeks, then you have a gut check moment right here, right now. Do you deserve to play for their title?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Two-Pair, your thoughts on this matchup with Heritage. And while you're talking, Shane, do you mind looking up Heritage's record of who they've played so far this year and give that to us? Two-Pair, your thoughts on this grudge match with Heritage as they try to ruin Homecoming 2024 this Friday night at Marble City, Sutherland Avenue, Bill Wilson Field.
The thing that they got to do is they got to win in the trenches, and they got to show they can impose their will running the football. We've got to see them impose their will on the Mountaineers. The Mountaineers are going to give us everything we want. Their defensive line is pretty stout. They got some talent on that defensive line. Their secondary, I don't know if we're going to see a lot of man out of them. I feel like they're going to play a lot of drop coverage, a lot of zone. But they could surprise me and play man and switch from zone. I just feel like we have the athletes to stretch the zone in ways with the running game, but we have to establish the running game first. We got to get in a rhythm offensively to have sustainable drives. If we can get 2 to 3 minutes off of the clock then that allows our defense to make plays with the linebackers, and then that allows us chances and opportunities to blitz. We didn't come out with that
We could have made
same
America's
aggression.
all-time best-selling SU.
We didn't come out with that same aggression until the third quarter. You saw the difference between the first half to the second half with West, and it was just like they put their foot on the gas.
Yep.
And when they put their foot on the gas, they made the plays. That's what I'm expecting against Heritage, because Heritage is really the tune-up for that travel that you got to do against Alcoa. Then you've got Anderson County.
Then Halls and then Powell. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think the last home game will be Anderson County.
Thursday
Everything
night.
Everything else is away.
Yep.
And you know that November 1st contest is gonna be away, and when I think that might be the next 4 games after Heritage. I feel like we can win convincingly against Heritage. I can say, but I think it might be a 7-point ball game. I really do. I really think it might be 28-21. I think Heritage is going to give us it because they know they're the homecoming game. So I don't want West to take these guys lightly. You don't want to take these guys lightly.
No,
like,
they can't.
We could be on here next Tuesday night saying, "We told you so." Don't take those guys lightly over at Heritage.
Exactly, and then you walk into Alcoa with your tail between your legs. You know what I mean, with a 3-3 record.
Absolutely.
So I mean, you're absolutely right. And I will say this: I'm glad you brought up Heritage's defensive line. And Shane, I'm going to give you the floor to read those scores and the teams they were playing. Yep. But here's the thing: when you hear the Powell score, take it from people. I know people over at Powell. They said that Heritage is very stout up front, and this is a game that is going to see if our offensive line really has turned the corner, because, you know, this was supposed to be a strength, like I said. Now, I saw a little bit improvement last week, but you still went 3 and out on your first drive against Central, and that can't happen, you know, against better teams. And so the thing is that I really want to see that offensive line really, you know, not make a stupid mistake getting a 5-yard penalty and putting this offense 5 yards behind the line. I want you to come out there and drive it the legal way and, you know, knock people off the ball and open up those lanes for Messiah and Tavion and whoever else is carrying the ball back there, and give Parker time to find the playmakers, because it all starts up front with you guys. You guys were supposed to be the strength. I'm not saying you're not, but here's the thing. You go out there and leave a legacy that you can be the best offensive line in West history, especially when 4 of you are seniors. So that's a big deal right there. Shane, go on ahead with that schedule and record, wins and losses for the Mountaineers coming to town.
All right, Mountaineers are sitting at 3-2 right now. I'll go ahead and knock out their 2 losses they've had. Opening week, Maryville 51-0.
Okay.
Powell 38-0. Now here goes their wins. South Doyle 32-2. William Blunt 35-14. Carnes 35-0.
And that Carnes defense is pretty good too.
Yeah, that Carnes
defense, they come to play. That's one thing I will say.
That shocked me.
Offensively, they do have their struggles. But when it comes to that Carnes defense,
they have
surprised me this year. Between Gibbs and Carnes defense, and I want to say Anderson County too. Anderson County wasn't a surprise though. I thought that they would be what they would be. But Carnes defense is a lot better than advertised.
Carnes defense has stayed on the field way too much this year to bail the offense out. The offensive play calling when it comes to the quarterback and what they're calling for him is not what it should be. I've watched enough of their games this year since, you know, I coach on the middle school staff. I've been over there, and we all have come to the same conclusion about a lot of the offensive play calling right now. That's another story. But when Heritage is locked in, I mean, they're averaging 34 points a game, roughly. But when they're checked out. So, but Maryville, stout team. We all know what Maryville is capable of. Powell, same thing. Stout team, know what they're capable of. But when you're hailing these other teams easily. I mean, West on paper and what we've watched, dominant team when they want to be. You can't sleep. You cannot sleep on this team.
Yeah.
No, you have to do what Powell and Maribel have done and bust them in their freaking mouth. Snap one. I don't care if it's kickoff, kick return. You start putting people on their asses left and right and make them feel it. If you don't, they're going to give you a fight.
Yep.
How much are you willing to start out slow and just put your foot on their throat for 48 minutes? Like I said, it's up to West on what they do in this game because this Heritage team can play either way. You can bust them in the mouth and they back down, or they're going to give you a fight.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Start out slow, it's going to be a fight.
Yeah.
Bust them in the mouth, you're going to give them the big goose egg.
Heritage has only beaten West one time in their history of meeting and so forth. It happened in the 2016 season. It was at Heritage. It was Jeff Herrig's last year at West. So I just want that out there. But since then, West has won convincingly every time they have faced each other. So, like I said, it's been very interesting.
High school.
Yeah.
The backdrop of their stage is freaking amazing.
Oh, last year's game was gorgeous. Nice. Last year's game was amazing.
You're right. You're right there at the foot of the Smokies. Oh, it's so beautiful.
Oh, it's a beautiful backdrop. And they've got the one side like Bearden. They got the one side like
Bearden. They're higher than Bearden's, I think, because I drive by there a lot for work when I'm out there doing jobs on the electrical side. And just, man, I love that backdrop back there. But I looked at that stadium one day, I was like, damn, that is high. Like, I remember it being that high back in the day. Of course, we were on the field, so I wasn't really paying attention to it. But I was like, hey, I would hate to piss off a coach and run those. That's also bad out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'd hate to piss him off. Like, stadiums. Like, you're just like, wow.
Now, you want to know who's been playing well on that defensive line?
Who?
Deshaun Battle.
Yeah.
Deshaun Battle has played well on that defensive line. Like, he's played well. Steven Johnson, DeRoche, those dudes on that defensive line, we gotta give it up to those dudes in the trenches.
Mm-hmm. Like, oh yeah, on both sides. I mean,
and who's the kid, LaFell?
Oh,
was it LaFell? What is his name? We got to look at the roster.
McFall.
Lavelle.
Oh, Lavelle. Oh, okay. Sam Lavelle, 31. Yeah,
Lavelle.
He leads the team in tackles. Yeah, he's been the replacement for Ryan Scott. Yeah.
You're watching Rebels with a Cause right now.
Yeah.
Sam Lavelle is everywhere on that field. Yep. He does not get his name said enough on this show. Sam Lavelle, Davis Neely,
my number 45, baby.
Dude, Davis Neely is everywhere on that defense.
Yep, he hit the quarterback that popped the ball out, and Keith took it, did the house call. So, I mean, that was Neely to Keith right there. Honestly, 45-0. So.
But I tell you, the senior leadership by Steven Johnson, Deshaun Battle. I'm a Deshaun Battle fan. The way he plays is like if you go to war with a guy like that on your the defensive line with DeRoche, I think DeRoche probably out of those guys, he's the name we call the most.
Mm-hmm.
He's just that dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
But that Deshaun Battle.
Well, I'm going to tell you one guy that we need to keep an eye on.
Deshaun Battle and Steven Johnson. Those dudes are playing on Saturdays and Sundays.
Well, the one guy we need to keep an eye on. I'll tell you a guy we need to keep an eye on. Is number 70. He's a freshman, and he got out there late in the game. Is Jeremiah Caswell, by the way. Keep an eye on that guy, number 70. Yeah. He was going through the ball. And I want to give a shout out to Dale Campbell, number 71.
Hey, we need to
give him hell, Dale. I like that. Give him hell, Dale.
Hey, I love Dale. But you know what? We need to put 70 on offense. I really just
I think
from a
I
fan
mean,
perspective, coach, don't take like me saying this like y'all don't know what y'all do. Trust me, you get the first time I coach a football game will be probably the last time I coach a football game. I'll leave that to the specialists like Shane. But I was gonna tell Shane this, like watching number 70 play on defense, the way he runs, I feel like you can use that on the offensive side. Like, can I ask you a question, Shane?
Yeah.
How hard is it for guys that play on defense that you see could be offensive talent, but you want to keep them on your defensive side? How hard is it?
Ooh. With the way it is with high school now, man, you got kids play one side or the other. You don't see many cross-player athletes now, and that's just because of the way the coaching staff is. Because you want to keep your guy, you want to keep him fresh when you need him in key moments. But the kid's a dog. Like, you gotta get the ball in his hands. That's just what it is.
Right.
But maybe they have looked at it offensively and they didn't see anything, or it's something he needs to grow into.
And I'll give you another name that had a really great game last week that played really in his first action in backup duty, but being thrust into the starting lineup. And he made plays out there. Number 36, Trey Bewley. He was the one that
Trey Bewley.
when Riley blocked the punt, it went,
it to the
Trey
house.
Bewley picked it up
Trey
and did another house call. So, I mean, it was amazing.
I love Trey Bewley. I love Trey Bewley.
Yeah.
I love Keelan Rucker.
Man, you want to know something that I'm going to challenge some of these guys? I'm going to challenge some of these guys because you look at this roster and you wonder why this guy's not playing. And I don't know anything. I don't have any insight, but here's what my thought is. There's a reason you're not playing. Do you not know the playbook? Are you not in conditioned shape? Do something about it, guys, honestly, because you have to be in the best shape of your lives right now, because as you get to our age, things break down, okay? And you don't heal as fast. So my point is that
breaks
it's
down
like
quickly.
I want to see you guys out
I
there.
step the wrong way, I pull something.
Yeah. I mean, and Shane, you can even tribute to this and so forth like that. Oh, wait a minute. Real quick, two pair. Johnson and Battle or O lineman, actually. O lineman, yes.
My bad.
Thank you, Squiddish. Thank you for correcting that. So,
my bad.
Yeah.
O-lineman.
I do know a defensive lineman though that does need to get some dap. Sam Hudson, number 97. He really goes out there really hard. I'm a little I think that he's injured right now because I haven't really seen him. But Corson Potter, I was hoping to see him a little bit more, especially with how he performed in the spring. And of course, my guy Cam Leggett's doing his thing.
You know what? I forgot about Elijah Dickey. My bad.
Elijah Dickey too. Elijah's doing pretty well too. So yeah.
Hey, I'm sorry, Faith. Don't be mad at me. I love you, Faith. I love your son. He's a phenomenal player. I'm so sorry. I had my defense and my offense all mixed up.
Oh, you're fine, dude. But here's the thing.
I need my roster.
I need to get you one. I'll hand you one. When I see you on Friday, so you have it. But yeah, I just really would like to see some more guys get some action out there. But if you're asking yourself, why am I not out there? That's on you guys. I mean, you need to show the coaches in practice that you need to be out there and that you can handle big boy football longer than 2 plays. That I'm challenging everybody to be out there and be conditioned and give it everything you got. So, that's all I'm saying. So more than anything. So we'll talk more about this game. I want to get a couple of things for some of our other teams. And two pair, I loved that picture that you showed about the basketball team. I'll get to you in a second because I really want to talk about that picture was just like some badasses in it and so forth more than anything. But I got some housekeeping because I want to give some shout outs and love to some of our other teams that are playing their seasons and so forth. I know we haven't been able to get coaches.
Before you do
that,
that,
go ahead, man.
We got to send a big shout out to former Westside coach Sonny Trotter. Got to see him Friday at the game.
How's he doing, by the way? I'm sorry I didn't see him.
He's doing phenomenal, man. He's retired. He's loving life. He's enjoying life. He looks good. You won't talk about one of the best dressed men in Knoxville. That's Sonny Trotter, man. That's my guy, man. Sonny, love his family, love his daughters, love his wife. Phenomenal guy. I also got to see Coach Pecco I told Coach Pecco and Coach Lindsay that it is a must that we have them on the show during basketball season to speak about the 25th anniversary of
Yes.
that 2000 district team.
Yes.
Just a great guy, like an incredible coach,
Mhm.
and the best coach I ever had. Like I love Coach Pecco, and he made me appreciate those 6:30 practices. Like what I know now, I should have been there at 5:30. Like I should have been there at 4:30. I should have, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I should
Yeah.
have been there. Like let's
Well,
go.
and speaking of that group, we need. I mean, I understand that maybe some of all the 2014 guys couldn't make it because you had a concert, maybe you had work or something like that. But you know, I wish more guys would have shown up because it would have been amazing to see of how special that is. I think that if it had been us that had won that first state title, I think we all would have found our way back. You know what I mean? Type of a thing or
Yeah,
somehow. But that's okay. That's fine.
yeah.
But what I want more than anything is I want everybody that was a part of that 2000 district team back. And I hope Mike Morrow, Coach Lindsay can reach out to some of these guys because, it kind of saddened me. I know life happens and so forth. That, when Nathan was talking last week about, he really has not gotten to see these guys. So it was awesome that they had their little dinner at Dead
Oh
End
man,
Barbecue beforehand and got to
yeah.
catch up.
That
And
was
it's like, man,
cool.
you guys should be always in each other's lives. Like, with the social
Y'all
media
should have a
aspect
get.
now,
They should have a they. This
every
what I want to
year they
say.
should do it. So, yeah.
So this was what I want to say to that team is what I want to challenge them because they've already been to the mountaintop, but keep the brotherhood of what you did every year. Like I seeing Shane at my reunion, I have literally talked to Shane and you almost every single day.
Pretty much. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Since my class reunion, I talk to you guys every day. I see you guys at least
Once
once
a
a
week.
week.
Yep. Yep.
It's like our high school years, our college years, and then our adult life. We don't lose that communication. We don't lose that bond with each other.
No.
You
No,
don't.
you can't.
It's like I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know how a week would go without talking to you guys.
This is
So
true.
for a team that's won a championship, and you guys just went on the field for your decade reunion, like, dude, how cool is it? Like,
Mhm.
and one of the guys on this team was an NFL player.
Mhm.
Like, to you can't make documentaries like that.
No, you can't. And the good
So
news is I'm starting to work on that documentary now. So that's the good news about that. So we will get a real Rebels with a Cause, the 2014 OG documentary made by you and me. And I found the back-to-back song you recorded with the rap. So I have it, by the way.
oh, it's on SoundCloud. It's on
Yeah, it's on
SoundCloud. Yeah,
SoundCloud. So
yeah,
yeah,
damn
yeah.
it.
So it's a great one. It's a great song. So want to give a shout out though to some of our other West Rebel teams. Want to give a shout out real quick to Braden Latham, 11 carries, 76 yards, and a touchdown in Eastern Kentucky's first win of the year last year against Morehead State. Just to let you know. Want to give a shout out to our girls soccer team. They went to Farragut last Thursday and won 3-2, and that was a
Whoa,
big win for the
that's a
girls
big
soccer
win
team.
for
So
the.
on the
That is
road
a
at
huge
Farragut.
win.
So
Yo,
so
they won 3-2.
3-2. So
Oh, we
any
should have
girls
been
soccer
there.
players that watch Rebels with a
Hey,
Cause, you getting a dub. You getting a W from me.
we gotta hire more. We gotta hire people to get the games. Man, you know what? We're Rebels with a Cause probably gonna have to hire a staff to get the girls soccer game. Like,
Yeah. Well, can
Yeah,
I tell you the truth?
we're going to get more sponsors.
Well, here's the sad part. I had every intention to go to that game and cover it, and unfortunately, I had to work that night. So the thing is I'd still
yeah,
like to
yeah,
get to
yeah.
a girls' soccer game before their season ends. I would
You know
just to
what
cover
we
them. So
need? We
yes,
need to put out Rebels with a Cause correspondence for soccer, softball, like
Yeah.
the games that we're gonna be at work, because I feel like that would add so much to the network. It
You know what
would.
would
We
be
need to get
awesome?
correspondence.
You know what would be awesome? This is if Romero's watching tonight, here's a shout out. Give a little extra credit to one of your kids in the media that they go to the game, we give them a link to the StreamYard and they report what they saw at that game. We'll bring them on and so forth, give them a little airtime or whatever, and they'll be
Yes.
just like a little correspondent, get some extra
You know
credit or
what?
something. So that'd be amazing.
Here's what we're gonna check. Hey, so Paul Romero, this is what I'm thinking. We're gonna enhance the media side of West High.
Yeah.
So here's how we enhance the media side of West High. All these communication students that want to go into broadcasting,
Yep.
we need correspondents to
Mhm.
cover the games on the West High Sports Network,
That's
or
exactly right.
broadcast network.
Yeah, absolutely.
West Side Broadcast Network.
For sure, for sure. I want to give a shout out to our golf teams. Both boys and girls finished second today. This was actually yesterday. They finished second yesterday at the district golf tournament at Beaver Brook. Both
Ooh.
teams advanced to next week's regional tournament. So shout out to the golf team for
Shout out
boys
to the
and
golf
girls
team.
Golf
doing
clap.
their
Golf clap.
thing.
Golf
So,
clap. Golf
Golf
clap.
golf clap. Wait a minute.
Golf clap.
There it is.
Buddy.
There it is.
Buddy for Paul.
Yes,
Buddy
very
for
faux pas. And want to give a shout
Birdie on
out.
the par 3.
and I want to give a shout out to the Lady Dubs volleyball team, as they like to call themselves.
Shout out
on
to Coach
Twitter.
Lee, baby.
Yeah, well,
Shout out to
she's got
Coach
them
Lee.
going. She's got them going for sure. On the 17th,
She's one of the best coaches ever.
Yeah. On the 17th, they actually had a big win. Both their JV and varsity girls beat Heritage. So that was on the 17th. And then this past week, which was yesterday, they swept Carnes, both JV and varsity. So clean sweep over Carnes last night. So shout out to the West High Lady Dubs volleyball team for getting it done. So all the sports at West, that's what we like to see. Y'all get a W. For the teams mentioned and so forth, and I'm sure cross country is doing their thing as well. And if I hear anything or see anything on the Twitter, shout out to West High Council, I will definitely make sure that we give them pub on this. Before we go to college football, though, two-pair, that picture was badass that was taken by the seniors. It wasn't even the varsity. It was the seniors that took a team. I mean, they got, 9, 10 guys that are seniors, and we haven't even gotten to juniors or sophomores yet. What is up, man? Scary good. Scary good is what I want to see. So,
scary good. Also, I want to give a shout out because he won't be with us this year. But when I tell you, I love me some Chris Cowan, man. Like, I just wish he was.
What
on
happened? Can we talk about it, or is this a Rebels After Dark off camera?
Nah,
what's up?
He said he loves us, and he said he wish he was back at West, but he's at Carter because they had to move. So, yeah, man. So,
all right.
I wish I love his game.
Carter's getting a special player, by the way.
Oh my God!
Carter's getting a special guy.
Just the way you could put him in, he was interchangeable.
Yes,
he just gives you a
spark off the bench that almost helped you beat Bearden in the district. Honestly,
but you know who I think is going to be that spark?
Our guy.
Yeah, I think it's Malik Wilson. He is the most calm, cool, collective dude on the. You don't ever see him get rattled.
Yeah.
Like the dude, he doesn't say a word. I don't even know if the dude can talk.
He's very quiet. He's very quiet.
I said, Kara, I don't think he speaks. He goes out, he plays defense, he rebounds, he can score when you need him to. But with this team, he does all of the stuff that doesn't come on the stat sheet.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look up, you're like, yeah, Malik Wilson had a 10, 7, 5. Like, he's one of those dudes that can be a double-double or a triple-double. It's just we're so deep.
Yeah, he's not gonna. Yeah, I mean, oh,
And
well, here,
but he
go ahead.
will. I think he'll be one of those guys that gets minutes in crunch time. Like I feel like the first 2 quarters you may see him get in, but crunch time I think he's on the floor. Like, I
Who's
really do.
our guy, real quick? Who's our guy that sat out the whole year, is just chomping at the bit like a dog coming out of
Mike
the cage?
Nelson.
I'm ready for Mike Nelson. I want to see what he
They
can do in that
they
uniform,
call him,
baby.
they call him money after midnight because
money
it's
after
ATM.
midnight.
It's ATM. All
I
that
like
money
that.
to him.
I like deposits.
ATM.
I like that withdrawal.
Money after midnight. ATM Mike Nelson. And look, this how I know Shane and Stallion, coach. He's in the gym. He in the gym.
He's stroking. He's getting ready.
He in the gym. Like he's really in the gym with it. Mike Nelson, Garrett Birch, like off this ankle injury, coming back shooting lights out. I think he became a better shooter. I think Dupree, Birch, and Schuler really improved their shooting, but Schuler off the dribble this year is different.
Yeah.
I think it's helping him guarding a guy like Nelson or if he's guarding Hill, but he's been a little different. I can't wait to see Kevin Jack and Devin Martin.
Oh my God. And their bodies look completely different from last year. They really have been working and transforming that. Real quick about Birch, and shout out to the Birches because they were one of our first supporters of Rebels with a Cause before Romero and everybody else got involved. So shout out to them. But how big of a loss was that not having Birch after that Bearden win? He got hurt in that fourth quarter, and you didn't have him the rest of the year. How nice would that have been to have him in those games that were close losses or that you didn't even have him for any of the district or region tournament, honestly? So, yeah.
Garrett Birch is going to average. Garrett Birch could get 16 points if he wanted to every game.
Yep. Yeah. This would be a great team. This is going to be a great team.
If Garrett Birch realizes he's the best shooter in Knox County, Reese Clark, you need to realize you're one of the best shooters in Knox County. This law firm has grown more because you got to put Clark in there too.
You got partners, so
you got partners.
Yeah.
You got Schuler, Dupree, Birch, and Clark. That law firm of 3 is growing in numbers. It used to be just 3 guys. But the way Reese is shooting the cover off the ball this fall, I don't see why they can't go to state.
And you know what? Can I just say this? And this is just a mano a mano. Jalen Hill, you need to be the judge and say court's in session, bitches. That's all I'm going to say right there. I'm being real.
This team goes as he goes.
Give him the gavel and let's go, honestly. So, shoot, let's go.
Jalen, and I talk about this, I think Jalen is the best on both ends of the court as a guard in Knox County and maybe the state.
Oh, yeah.
He is. It is.
And like I said, he's got to play within himself and let it come to him because when it was slow and he was faster than everybody, great. But when he was in his own head, it was clunky. It wasn't a well-oiled
and him being a leader, he knows that because we talked about that a lot last year and he changed it. But the young guys, Kalu Fofana, Kalu Fofana might see some playing time next year.
Sanders as well. So
I love Sanders because Sanders he hustles.
Yeah,
and he's got lift. He knows how to use his body in the paint, and he can get you 6 easy points.
Yeah.
Sean Smith, I like Sean Smith. I think Sean Smith is going to be due for a year where he sees some minutes. Like there are guys that can steal minutes from seniors.
Yep. That's why you
you
got to
get
bring
the-
it every day in practice. You got to bring it every day in practice. Somebody will Wally pip your ass, honestly.
But
Put you on the bench.
if those guys get the right matchups, like if they get the right matchups to where if Jack got in foul trouble, if Kevin Jack got in foul trouble, you could then move either Dane Clark or you could move Garrett Birch to play in the post, stretch it out with Clark, stretch it out with Schuler, and have Hill run point.
So our
You can
paper
do
boy
things
is
like that.
on the team. The paper boy is on the team.
I think
Dane
so.
Clark.
I think so. I just didn't get to
Okay.
see him. I
That
think
one
he's
time,
still
maybe
on
he
the
had
team.
something going on. Maybe he had something else going on. So the
No,
paper boy.
the paper boy definitely better be back.
Yeah.
I haven't got to see him though. I
Yeah.
haven't seen him on campus.
I swear
but
I
no.
saw him at a football game because he stands out. He's so tall. He's
Yeah.
quiet too. He needs to get mean. So that's what he needs to do. He needs to get mean.
Another guy to keep your eyes on is DeMarcus Bullard, the Afro Samurai. Like
I love it.
the Afro Samurai. Like
I think you got all your names ready. I can hear it in your voice. You're ready to call that first game there at the gym. I can't wait to see this. So
yeah, I like him. I like my man Wesley too. Wesley's got a nice game. I like Wesley. I think Wesley's only gonna be a sophomore. Wesley Schwitters. I might be saying his name wrong. But he's only a Schwitters. Or Schwitters. It's SCH Witters.
Don't get him confused with Waylon Smithers from
Simpsons. But I really hope Kalu. I really hope Kalu steals some playing time because Kalu has been balling.
Yeah. Well, he got out there as a freshman, so look at that.
I love Kalu. Kalu saw time as a freshman.
Mm-hmm. So he was a Fab Frosh, and now he's a super soft. So that's what he's got to do.
I love Kalu's development is through the roof, man. I'm a Kalu fan guy. I'm really just interested how this team is going to be with the loss of Calvin, but you move Malik over into that spot real quick. You know, you move Malik over into that spot. I just think Devin Martin's got to realize he's the best player in Knoxville.
Yeah.
They've
got to complement each other, and they've got to go out there and just want to have that tear the cage out. You know what I mean, type of a thing. So we're going to talk more about them as that season gets near, and of course, I hope to get both Coach Graves and Coach E on before their season start. And it's going to be right around the corner, guys. This is the last week of September. It'll be October next week. You know what I mean?
Crazy.
So, I do want to switch gears to college football. Week 4 thoughts. Shout out to the Vols to go into Norman, Oklahoma, and kick some ass. Shane, you know, what did you see, bud, in that game? Because I'm going to tell you this, man. At no point was I worried about Oklahoma at all. They shut down that offense. And here's the thing, to even credit you, you put a post on Facebook. It's nice to have a defense again in Tennessee. And it had been seen like that since Chief Chavis was roaming the sideline.
It looked like
talk about that game,
man. Oh my God, that defense is elite. Like you aren't running your offense against that defense. It's not happening. You've got playmakers on the line. You got playmakers in the linebacker. You got playmakers in the secondary. You are not doing shit on Tennessee offensively. Don't even try. If we let you do something offensively like we did in that game, because we held back, like Coach said, it's on video, I pulled back because the defense was playing elite. You kept the defense off the field when you needed to, made their offense try to drive on you. You gave up 86 yards in 3 quarters. 87 yards in 3 quarters, and they finished with under 100 yards total in the game at 98 yards. A college team in the top 15. Tennessee's defense is elite. Tennessee's back. Book us in the playoffs. I'm calling it that right now.
I like it. I like it. Two
Mhm.
pair, you. I know it pains you to say this as a Florida State fan. Larry Frank's on here. You know, he wanted us to give a shout out to the U. You were talking with me off camera. That Miami offense really has got you impressed this past week, and we'll see what they
Yeah.
have against Virginia Tech on Friday night. So, what's
I
your thoughts
think
on the Canes, dude?
I
So,
think
yeah.
I think Miami is going to be in the college football playoffs. They've got a nastiness to them that I love, and I wish that was seen in Tallahassee. But those boys in Coral Gables, it felt like I'm watching the U. I'm not
Mhm.
watching Miami.
Yeah, you're right.
There's a
There's a
difference.
difference.
There's a difference in are you
Dancing on the
watching
sidelines,
Miami?
talking
You
trash.
watching the U. It is a difference. That is the U. That ain't Miami. There's a difference. Them dudes are legit. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
no, I'm
yeah.
gonna just say that. I mean, they're dancing on the sidelines. They're talking trash. Cam Ward pointed to the USF guy and said, "We're running the play right here. Why don't you put your guy right here?" Miami runs the play. Damian Martinez doesn't even get touched for his third touchdown, and Martinez is going like this to the crowd at USF. I mean, and they were walking out there into
yeah.
the third quarter, man. I mean, I know it
I,
was just
I,
USF, but they're taking care of business. I mean, that's what you got to do.
if they're not one of the best of the top five, like they got some stake. They got some stake and claim to say like
Mhm.
they're the best team in Florida.
Oh, without a
They're
doubt.
one of the best teams in the nation.
Hmm.
Uh, Tennessee and Miami are on a roller coaster climb to be because two and four play right. Two
Yes.
and four play.
Well, yeah, actually 2 and 3. 2 and 3 would play. So
Oh,
like
it's
if you just
two
keep
and
going, yeah, it's like
yeah.
one,
But I'm
yeah,
saying
it's weird, yeah.
this week we got a 2 and 4 matchup.
Hmm.
So depending on what happens in that, can change the course of that top 25 from making some moves,
It really can.
making some serious moves.
What are your thoughts about that game? I mean, obviously, you know what? Larry Frank is calling it right here. He said the U is one of the most dangerous teams in America right now. I can't argue that. He said Tennessee versus Miami is going to happen. Sorry, fellas. I mean, I'd love to see it. If it did happen, a freaking ticket to get there to watch it. Honestly, I've been dreaming
Man,
about it for years. I mean,
I'd want
they've
that
sucked
ticket.
both of them for how long? I mean, till recently. So Jesus. I mean,
I
it
Me
needs
and
want
my,
to
that
me and
be.
my
ticket,
best
but I
friend
would.
made a deal that if Tennessee goes to the national championship, we're going to the game, no matter where it is. Like we
Who
are.
was this now? Who made a deal? What now?
Me,
Which?
me and my best friend Brent lives
Oh,
down. He's UT grad, lives down Florida, Marine vet with me. That's how we met.
yeah, yeah.
We have made a deal with each other that if Tennessee goes to the national championship, we are going. Like we don't care where it is. Like we have prepped for this. So if
Yeah.
it's Tennessee, Miami, I'm there. I don't care.
Yeah.
Whoever Tennessee plays, we go to the national championship, my ass will be there.
I will not miss out on that. If I even have to sell some baseball cards or something to get some extra
Mm,
cash after Christmas to pay for it, I'll find a way to wherever that national championship game is. Honestly, so
I would love to see it in Miami. I'd love to see it in Knoxville. I just know it's gonna. I feel like they're on a collision
they
course.
are on a collision. I mean, and you know what? Why not? There needs to be some new blood because look, guys, I'm watching this shit last week or
Oh,
whatever.
just if they see each other in the first round, because that's a home game for whoever's the higher ranked team.
Oh wow,
Hmm.
yeah. So yeah, yeah. Larry goes, "I'll sell ass to get tickets to that game." As Miami goes, listen, this is some after dark shit now. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's great.
turn
That's
the
great.
volume down
I
if
would
you're under
start. I would
18.
start OnlyFans
Folks.
and sell pictures of my
Oh
feet. I don't
man,
care.
only on Rebels with a Cause when
Only
we
with
start talking.
that,
See,
baby. So,
this is the part where it's college that we
uh,
can kind of branch out a little
this
bit.
is
We
what
can
you
kind of
young men have to look forward to when you get to
yeah,
that point one day.
exactly,
So there you go.
exactly,
So yeah,
exactly.
but
This is the college
We
part.
are willing to sell ourselves for
yeah.
tickets.
Well, listen, but guys, how
Mhm.
awesome was it that game day covered a Tennessee game on the road?
Yeah,
You know,
on the
and you know
road.
they're going to be at Neyland. If Alabama wins on Saturday, I think Georgia's going to win. If I gun to my head,
Yeah,
Georgia's going to win that game. But I really foresee if Alabama somehow pulls it out of their ass, I foresee Tennessee taking care of business with Arkansas and the Gators and so forth. How can game day not be here for Tennessee, Alabama that third Saturday in October? How can that not happen?
Man.
So, be amazing.
Dude, do you see how quiet he got when you said that?
Yeah.
Dude.
It's a realistic thing.
I was there
How monumental of an atmosphere. How monumental of an atmosphere would that be if, let's just say this, Georgia and Alabama play a 20-21 ball game.
Mm-hmm.
We're just let's play with it. Let's play with it a little bit. They put up a 20-21 ball game. Let's say it goes into OT.
Mm-hmm.
The magnitude of that game, if Alabama is the victor opposed to Georgia, because the Georgia game would be later in November.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, that doesn't do Knoxville or us any good to not have
No,
games.
and it's like,
yeah,
Georgia, playing on the road in Georgia, we haven't looked good between the hedges since the days of Eric Ainge.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when we went up against, I want to say, was that Stafford against Eric Ainge, or he came in the game later?
What year was that? I want to say that was 2008 that we went up there and surprised them, and they weren't supposed to lose that game. Like, nobody gave Tennessee a shot, but it was.
Yeah, the day of Eric
Kiffin?
Ainge.
Was it Kiffin? Kiffin was coaching, maybe? Was it 2009?
Yeah, it was 08 was Fulmer, 9 was Kiffin.
It was 07.
It was 07. Yeah.
Eric
07, that team was good. They went to the SEC championship game. They almost beat LSU in that game. So,
that Eric Ainge was money against Georgia.
Yeah. Yeah, he was kind of the Georgia killer. He was.
Man.
Because they beat his 2004 year, they beat Pollock and David Green and ruined their senior year because we couldn't beat Georgia during that time when Mark Richt was there. We couldn't.
No, we couldn't. Let me look that up.
Yeah, that's something to look at. Well, like I said, Shane, any other big games this weekend that kind of stand out? I know that you've got you've got the games that are the SEC games are obviously spread throughout ABC throughout that day. And I'm just going to say this, man. I don't know who at NBC made the decision that, let's all go in on Big Ten football. But while Miami was playing USF on ESPN and Tennessee and Oklahoma were on ABC and Shedeur Sanders and Colorado were playing Baylor on Fox, do you know what NBC countered with their primetime game? Iowa versus Minnesota.
Ooh.
I mean, what the actual hell was that? I mean, I'd rather watch paint dry than watch Iowa versus Minnesota prime time. That's like Big Ten Network shit, guys. I'm telling you right there.
It was 2007.
That sucked.
There's not many big games this weekend.
Louisville's playing Notre Dame, so that's 2 ranked teams playing.
Yeah,
right
you got Kansas State, Oklahoma State. You got Georgia, Alabama. Like, those are the only.
Who's Ole Miss playing this week? Who's
Ole Miss is playing Kentucky.
Which Kentucky team shows up? The one that gave Georgia everything they wanted, or the one that bent over for South Carolina? So I mean,
I want to bend over for South Carolina.
I
hate Kentucky. I hate Kentucky.
I found the Eric Ainge game.
Which one was it?
It was 2007 season.
7. Okay.
Where we jumped up to the 28-0 lead at halftime.
So I'm getting to that. So a 35-14 victory over number 12 rival Georgia. He was 17 of 22 for 165 yards passing.
Wow.
Yeah, that was the game that they just dominated. They dominated Georgia. 2007. It was
And I know that we beat them a couple years later. I want to say we beat them a couple years later in 2009, and nobody gave Tennessee a shot. And I forget who the quarterback was, but I want to say, Kiffin was the coach at that time.
It had been Compton.
Compton. So yeah, it was like Compton's best game. Compton's best game. Yeah, out of Cherokee. That's
45-19.
45-19, and nobody gave Tennessee a shot that game. Nobody did. So yeah, for sure. So. And look at this. Ole Miss gonna bet Kentucky more than he did Usher. Dude, that is some Larry Frank.
Hide your baby.
That's it. Yeah, thousands of bottles were missing. I mean, my God. So, oh my goodness. I will say this much. I really do. I'm going to continue with this theme every time and so forth, but I really believe that the AP poll, not so much the coaches, but the AP poll is really ranking teams deservedly based on performance, honestly, because they rewarded Tennessee again for going on the road in a hostile environment and absolutely dominating the game. The hell with the score, it was dominating. Okay?
That was dominant.
They rewarded Miami for going on the road and hanging 50 points and winning by 35 over a USF team that gave Alabama everything they wanted.
Everything.
So
that team gave Alabama fits, and you saw what Miami. I'm sorry, you saw what the U did against them. That was
that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So, but I just think that Tennessee's off this week, so they'll be okay. But there really is something to this. You got to win by convincing fashion, especially if you're looking at point spreads. Like Miami right now is favored by 19 over Virginia Tech. I never thought I'd see the day that Miami would be favored over Virginia Tech by 19 points on Friday night.
I got y'all by like 15. I think
it's a solid 2-touchdown win. I think, but who knows if they blow out Virginia Tech, then it's like, but here's the thing. The Virginia Tech that lost to Vanderbilt and Rutgers is not going to be that team that shows up. They're going to be hyped. They always love to be a thorn in Miami's side. The thing is, I hope that the U, like you said, shows up and not Miami. There's a difference there.
There's a difference. Yes. And you know what, like watching those documentaries on the U, I start seeing this team, like the way I'm watching Tennessee's defense, the way I'm watching those two defenses, they might be pushing Alabama and Georgia's the best defenses in the country. Like I'm convinced. Like watching UT's defense and watching Miami's defense, I think those are the two best defenses in the country.
Right and now. Then you're going to see, and here's the thing, Ohio State, their first toughest game is going to be Oregon, and we don't even know what Oregon really has. Oregon's lucky to still be undefeated at this point. Look at USC. They suck. I mean, they lost to Michigan. That wasn't even a good Michigan team, man. They suck. They're terrible.
Michigan, you thank the referees for keeping y'all in that one.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, thank the referees for keeping y'all in that one.
Shane, who does Texas have this week with Arch Manning? Because Ewers is still out. Ewers has got that.
I'm just playing, man. I love Michigan, man.
Yeah, the Bulldogs and Mississippi State.
Mississippi State.
Yep.
Oh, they'll beat their ass by 50 points if they want to. So, let me tell you something. You want to know something? We all know that Mississippi State, really made an emotional decision of who they hired after what happened. But we know if the Pirate was still alive, Mississippi State would still be very competitive and still very fun to watch, honestly, if the Pirate was still alive. So, yeah.
That might be one of the saddest days of football.
Yeah. No, that guy was must-see TV. He really was. So, yeah. I know I wanted to keep it short tonight, but I still wanted to make sure that we did take care of a couple of things. First and foremost, I want to give I have a loser of the week this week, by the way. It goes to Kansas State. You guys were predicted to win the Big 12. I heard even Bill Snyder, the legendary Bill Snyder, talking all this trash, saying something about he would do something if there's no chance Kansas State goes into Provo and loses to BYU. And he almost did something stupid, like I shaved my head or something like that. And they went in there, their new sunshine, and got absolutely blasted
They
by
did.
BYU. So the loser of the week is Kansas State. And if I have a winner of the week or whatever, Shador Sanders and the wide receiver recreating the famous Cordell Stewart Hail Mary against Michigan against Baylor and then winning in overtime.
How cool was that? How cool
I
was
thought
that?
it was over in the rain, and it's like, Dave Aranda's another guy. All I kept hearing about was, oh, the Dave Aranda defense at LSU, and now he's going to take Baylor to really great heights. That's another coach that's going to be fired by the end of the year.
They gave up 38 points, and he's taking them to new heights.
Yeah, there he is.
For what it's worth, man, they're high drama to watch.
Yeah. There must see TV. Paul Feinbaum said that. You're right.
There must see TV.
They are.
Like, I love seeing the guys that he has on the sidelines. Like, Dion has made that in a championship type environment of who's who. You know what I mean? Like, what kid wouldn't want to go there? It's hard to build continuity with 43 new players. That is tough. Like, that is tough to do. You know what I mean?
Possible.
Yeah, it's really tough. So I commend him on what he's doing, and Travis Hunter.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He just makes plays.
You know what would be really interesting?
He's just a great football player.
He is, and you almost see a mirror image or whatever. I mean, I don't know what Colorado's record is going to be the rest of the year. I don't. But could you honestly see Travis Hunter in the Charles Woodson role and Cam Ward putting up the NCAA numbers like Peyton Manning at that time? You could have another Manning versus Woodson, Ward versus Hunter. You know what I mean? Type of a thing. That'd be an ESPN documentary years from now or something like that.
Yeah,
so,
we just gave them the sauce. Look at it.
Yeah,
we just gave them
Shane,
the sauce.
Other media likes to steal our stuff, so we should put a copyright on this one.
Yeah,
put a copyright
and
on
reap
that
the benefits. So yeah,
can we copyright that one here on Rebels with a Cause?
I'm going to make sure that we patent it. So for sure,
yeah, we said it first. But no, seriously, that's what really could happen if Travis Hunter. He's doing it at a higher clip than what Woodson or even Champ Bailey. I think Champ Bailey was Champ Bailey, right? Yeah. And if Georgia had won a few of those SEC games, like if they would have beat Florida during that time frame, you would have put Champ Bailey on that hype train in the South the way the Midwest writers put Woodson on that hype train. And on the national level in the Midwest. So, yeah, Hunter, he's doing it at a higher clip, though. Like, he makes the forced fumble. He gets the 7 catches with over 130. Like, it's hard to argue. He's the best player in college
the whole
football.
game. And he's playing special teams as well. He created that fumble that ultimately saved the game. I'm going to throw this out there too, Pear, and it's funny you mentioned the Midwest Riders because Colorado's kind of in that Southwest, just outside the Midwest, type of thing, but they are part of the Big 12. I'm going to tell you another defensive guy that the Big 12 pushed to the Heisman Trophy once upon a time. People may not remember this name. Ndamukong Suh, the big defensive tackle for Nebraska.
Ndamukong Suh.
Yeah. Now, could you imagine if Nebraska had put him at fullback like the refrigerator to give him a touchdown? Because that guy was a dominant defensive tackle. He
changed games.
And Nebraska.
He was dominant, but he was dirty too. So.
He was dirty. He was a dirty player. Yeah. So, but realistically, I just think about Hunter, though, is definitely at a higher clip than the defensive players, rather, I should say, that have shown up to the Heisman Trophy presentation. Woodson being the only one that won it outright, So, yeah. But Shane, do you got any? I want to wrap it up with obviously our predictions. Do we got 7 good high school games? By the way, I want to give an apology to God, I had a terrible pick last week. I couldn't believe I picked it and so forth, but I wanted to own up to it and so forth. But I thought Carter was going to beat Halls, man, and damn, did Halls prove me wrong. So I beg for forgiveness, Halls, on that one and so forth. But yeah, if you got 7 high school games, including our own, let's pick it and see how we do and so forth, like for sure. So. The Nebraska Nut Stomper. That's right. He was dirty. I forgot about that. So the Nebraska
The Nebraska
Nut Stompers.
All right. Well, we'll get my computer to load here.
No problem.
I do not want to subscribe to the Tennessean. Stop asking me. All right. Here we go. Local game, Carter, Anderson County. Got Anderson County on that one. Hands down.
Yeah, give me Anderson County. They're just playing some really good ball right now, and have it rolling. So yeah. Two pair. Who you got?
Which game?
Anderson County versus Carter.
Ooh. Carter's a good group. Carter is a good group. I'm gonna step on the ledge and say Anderson County.
Okay. All right. Good pick. Good pick. Shane, what's the next game?
All right, let's go South Doyle Central.
I like
Central.
I like Central in this one.
I think Central bounced back.
Yeah,
I think when you get took to the woodshed, like we got took to the woodshed by Maryville, and they bounced back. you got to be able to weather the storm right now. You know they got to weather the storm, and yeah, that's a game where they bounce back.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm going Central on that one also. Hardin Valley, Maryville. We all know Maryville. That's
Maryville's going to win that one.
Maryville.
How much by or whatever? Is it a running clock? So yes, I mean
running clock.
I say
running clock. Maryville wins.
This isn't Hardin Valley. This isn't a knock on you guys.
No, it's not.
You're one of our rivals. This isn't a knock. That Maryville team is damn good. If they housed us.
Yeah, they're gonna house you.
Imagine they're gonna house you.
Yeah.
Welcome to the club.
The revenge tour continues.
Welcome to the revenge tour.
Let's go Hall and Powell.
Ooh, the Battle of Every Road. I like that one. So
Powell.
yeah, you like Powell? So I'm gonna tell you this.
Halls is gonna give them everything they want. Halls is gonna give them everything they want. Yeah. I think it's a 21-20 game.
Can I tell you where I think the difference is going to be? Everybody points to Connor Wheeler and Deuce being the best players, you know, that they're the marquee names for Powell, where Powell's been getting it done despite losing Steven Souls, who had a sack last week for Kentucky. Shout out to him being a former area player, doing it on the stage as a true freshman. That defensive line with Charvon Thomas has not missed a beat, and that defensive line is going to be the difference of why they beat Halls. Give me Powell this Friday night.
Same, I'm going Powell.
Yeah, I like Powell.
We got AE and Pigeon Forge.
Pigeon Forge.
Yeah, I just think it's going to be a rough year for AE. I don't think AE gets a game this year. I think Pigeon Forge gets it done.
Yeah, I think
brighter days are ahead for Stanton, though. So
I think next year you're gonna see a way different programming team.
Yeah, I do too.
Look, like AE. Look, trust me. We all go through it. Like they're gonna come back stronger than ever. This summer, they're getting some skill guys. Like there are some guys in that youth program. AE, and trust me, it's gonna be a problem for teams in Knoxville when that youth program is being coached by Mark Andrews, the Brandon Stricklands of the world, the Marcos McCords of the world. It is being coached by a ton of guys that know what it's like to play that brand of football out here on the East. Like when when Braylon Strickland makes the decision to go what school he wants to go to, when Marcos McCord Jr. decides where he's going to, where Mark Andrews' son, there's a ton of talent in that youth program.
Get your licks in now. Get your licks in now.
Get
Is
your
what I'm
licks
saying.
in now.
Yeah,
because that program,
Yep.
like we run a very good program, but they do too. And when I tell you that youth program is going to set their team to be where it needs to be.
Yeah, and listen, I'm not going to make excuses, but losing the Cherry brothers that soon to the season, you know, like, and they had to go do their own thing. I get it, and so forth. But if the Cherry brothers had stay, they're good for at least. They'd probably be 2-3 right now because that's how good impact those both boys were
them dudes
for that
them dudes
program.
can count
So
for 30 touchdowns.
they're not 0-4 0-5 right now. They're 2-3 easily, if not 3-2. So yeah, Shane, what's the next game?
The Battle of Anderson County, Clinton and Oak Ridge.
Ooh, give me Oak Ridge. Oak Ridge is starting to get it together.
Yep.
They're finally becoming the team I thought they'd be. Clinton's still struggling. They got beat pretty good by Powell last week, so give me Oak Ridge.
I still think that coaching change affected them. So
Yeah.
I'm going Oak Ridge.
Oak Ridge.
Derek Rang, man. Derek Rang.
Clinton. When you lose your athletic director, you lose your coach,
Lose players. That transfer. So yeah,
like you lose your athletic director and he comes to West where he played it. Like you lose a guy like that. That guy right there is a hell of an athletic director. And guess where he's back at? West.
Back home where he belongs. So yep.
All right, now next up, the Battle of Dutchtown, CAK and Webb.
Give me Webb.
Webb.
There's a lot of. Is this rivalry? This seems like rivalry week. We got Battle of Anderson County, Battle of Dutchtown. Jeez.
Got 3 more to pick.
Okay.
Fulton and Carnes.
You know, give me Fulton.
Carnes got that defense.
Yeah,
but I feel
like is 0-3 in the last 3 weeks. So
I feel like Coach Long's offense is just getting in the gear of what the tempo, the pace, of what he likes to coach with.
I agree,
and I think it's only a matter of time before we start talking about Fulton and state contenders the way that youth program as well. Like that youth, it's the youth programs that we really need to focus on because those are going to be the changes of if those kids stay together and stay the course, those can be problems for West in the future when you look at how things can shape up with these MAC programs. The MAC programs are what's going to be changing the face of high school football for a while to the point there may be NIL deals coming around.
It's already there. I think it's
that's what I coach right now, and I watch these kids film every week. So I'm gonna go Carnes on that one. Just for that.
They need a win. They need a win, and they beat them last year. Remember, Carnes beat Fulton last year. So yep.
All right, next one up, the Battle of Kingston Pike.
I love that you said the Battle of Kingston Pike because that's what it is. It's Farragut's their own city, so
Bearden at Farragut.
Bearden.
Yeah.
Bearden is damn good.
Yeah,
like,
I'll tell you this. Last week,
Bearden is damn good.
Parrott took the snaps at quarterback, so I don't know if Mississippi's going to be back or not. But no matter who's playing at quarterback, I got Bearden winning. Give me Bearden by 14. So yeah, it's a rivalry game. Farragut will play them tough, but I think Bearden too much in
that game's always brutal. Bearden finally got the best of them last year after losing 6 in a row, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'll go Bearden.
I got a stat for you, Shane, by the way. Do you want to know the last time Bearden beat Farragut at Farragut, by the way? It's been a minute. It has been a minute.
2016.
You might be right. You might be right. I was going to go a little bit further back than that. I was thinking it was probably that Devon Young team that did it back in 2010. But maybe it was 2016 that did it.
I want to say that.
Because it has to be at Farragut, like at Farragut. Because Bearden's won a few times at
Yeah,
Bearden.
And 6 in a row last year. So this makes year. I'll look that one up.
Yeah.
I want to say it's like 2016.
Yeah, but at Farragut, so something to think about. So yeah, but I got Bearden getting that streak over with and finally getting a win on the road at Farragut. So
and finally, us.
You know, weather is going to be a factor with the rain. I've even seen some games being moved to Saturday, taking advantage of Tennessee having the bye week or what have you. That being said, if they play the game, give me West 42-21 over Heritage. 42-21 West over Heritage.
Going to go. Let's say 41-10 West.
Okay.
Let's see. They beat Central 56-14.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna challenge the offense to put up 35. I think it can be closer. If let's say this, if the first half West is leading 21-14, the second half will be the telltale sign in that first 3 minutes because it could go.
It all depends on how Heritage starts the game.
It could go 27. It could go 28-21, or it could go. It could go 56-21. Like it can change real quick with that group.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know it. I think the Godfather coach Shaver, me and him talked, and he said when they turn the switch on, they can do this.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And I really think this is one of those games where you got to flip that switch off and you got to flip that switch on in the first quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Like let's just impose our will for a game. Like we can't be. We've said it enough on the show. Slow starts is what halts the drive for 3. If we're gonna get 3 of these, the way that we can do it with this program, we got to start off fast. Like we got to start out, mix up that tempo. Like we've got enough bodies to rotate guys as many plays as we can.
I agree.
Like we got guys. Like we really got some weapons to use. And I really think it's guys, what are you doing to get on that field? What are you doing to get on that field? And we are at Tuesday. It is Rebels with a Cause. We're live. We're giving our predictions. And hey, we got to see it Friday.
Yes,
it's homecoming.
It's
we got to see it.
I need to see a carryover of the second half into the first half of this game.
Yep. Yeah, we still have not played 4 quarters of football. I challenge this team to play 4 quarters of football. So, Yep. Simple as that. So, you got to want to do it. Got to get that eye of the tiger back. Simple as that. So, yeah, for sure. So, well, guys, any final thoughts and so forth as we wrap up? Great show tonight as always, and got a little tidbit. I'm gonna reveal it and so forth. He said he's ready anytime to come on. I had a nice conversation with him. He's a fan of the show. Thanked me about this. In a couple weeks, going into fall break, by the way, we are going to have a 1994 player come on and talk about that team and his journey in football and what he's doing now and so forth. And I can't wait to have him on. It's going to be the week of fall break, so that would be, I think, the 8th is that show, of, if I'm not mistaken, because the 11th is the fall break, is the 10th and the 11th there. Do they go a whole week now, Shane? Or because we only got like 2 days. Like, what the hell can you do in 2 days or whatever?
They have a whole week. My daughter is heading to Hilton Head on the 5th. So.
On the 5th. Okay, so that would be a Sunday, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Yeah, or Saturday, because the 4th is on a Friday. 4th is when we go.
She's leaving on Sunday for Hilton Head.
Okay, so that's fair. So what we'll do is, so that would be.
My bad. Nope, the 5th is the Saturday. She's leaving the 6th.
Okay, so she's leaving the 6th. So the 8th is a Tuesday. So Tuesday the 8th will be our special guest and so forth. So, yeah, so he'll be on there. A 1994 state semifinalist player for the West Rebels. So, yeah, for sure. It'd be awesome to have on a bye week and so forth. So, yeah, for sure. So, yeah. Well, guys, any final thoughts before we end the show, two-pair, like we always do? So, for sure.
Oh man, the calls don't stop until that clock. Even when that clock says 0, the calls don't stop, man. Throw your dubs up. Try to get a dub in life. Try to get a dub in everything you do. Just get a dub.
Absolutely.
I need a dub in my dating life.
Oh,
he's single, ladies. He's single,
hey, ladies,
so for sure.
Ladies, all you single moms out there.
Yes, single moms.
Single moms.
He can cook. He's a good cook. He's gonna cook it up, man. So
he's gonna cook it up. Cook it up. That is the goal of Rebels with a Cause, to all the beautiful single moms. Nah, we just playing.
Hey, listen, there is a cause for everybody. As long as it's a positive cause. Simple as that. No laws being broken,
Nothing being broken.
Awesome. Well, love you guys. As always, go Rebels. Let's take another one Friday night and go to 4-2 and keep this thing rolling. All our sports teams, go Rebels.